The Las Vegas Raiders may have just pulled off one of the smartest drafts in recent memory, and credit goes to new GM John Spike Tech and head coach Pete Carroll. Their approach wasn't flashy, it was strategic. They didn't just pick names, they built a blueprint for the future. Now, of course, it's draft and develop, which means these young guns still need to be shaped. But when it comes to draft day, the Raiders nailed it. They hit every layer, from instant starters to long-term depth. And let's talk about two names Raider Nation needs to keep an eye on. First, second-round pick Jack Bech. He's stepping in as a starting receiver from day one. Will he be a star? That remains to be seen. But his impact? Immediate. Then there's third-round pick Darien Porter. He's not just another rookie. He's the one everyone's whispering about. The Raiders believe he could grow into a true NFL star. Pete Carroll sees flashes of Richard Sherman in him. Tall, rangy, a former wide receiver, and yes, he's even faster than Sherman was. That's scary potential. And hey, before we dive deeper into what Porter brings to the Raiders, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest from Raider Nation. Now, let's jump back into it. Porter's not here to warm the bench. He's here to make an impact. Expect him to shine this season. His physical tools are NFL ready, and he's showing flashes in camp already. Meanwhile, Jack B's not just catching passes, he's bulldozing defenders. Watch this play. Before the ball's even snapped, he's already got his man backpedaling. Then, he drives him all the way to the end zone. That kind of blocking from your receiver. That's what turns good runs into touchdowns. With this level of effort, it's no wonder rookie running back Ashton Jeanty is fired up. When your wideouts block like that, big plays become routine. What makes Jack B such a dangerous weapon for the Raiders isn't just his hands or his speed. It's how he uses his brain and body together. Take this play. He sells the block so well that the defender bites hard on the fake. The moment that happens, Jack slips right past him. A few strides later, he's wide open in the end zone. Touchdown. Just like that. Lined up in the slot, Jack shows off his signature move, physical hand fighting to gain separation. Think of a young Michael Irvin. Aggressive, confident, unafraid. That quick slap, that controlled violence, it buys him a couple of crucial steps. Now watch this. He's out wide again. Same story. Slaps his defender off balance, breaks the route clean, and takes off. At 6 feet 1 inch, 215 pounds, Jack isn't just fast, he's powerful, and it shows on every snap. And physicality? That's where he becomes a nightmare for zone defenses. Normally, defenders will try to jam or nudge a receiver to throw him off his route, but not with Jack. He shrugs it off like a pro and still gets to his spot on time to make the grab. Now check this out. This route is smooth. Jack drops his hips like he's about to cut, forcing the cornerback to slow down. Then, boom. He hits the gas, leaving the defender flat-footed. There's nothing they can do to stop the catch. He's just too sharp. On another play, he's lined up inside again. Something breaks down in the coverage, and Jack sees it instantly. He finds the soft spot, settles in, and makes the easy catch. And if you think he's just finesse, think again. Jack can go up and snatch the ball over defenders too. Big body, strong hands, high IQ. The Raiders didn't just draft a receiver, they drafted a weapon. Let's talk about toughness. And Jack B's got plenty of it. Lined up inside again, the Raiders dial up a simple bubble screen. Nothing flashy. But Jack? He turns it into something. Defenders bounce off him like pinballs. He's not easy to bring down, not by a long shot. Out wide again, he grabs another short pass and turns it into yards. Then comes the real test. A jump ball over the middle, with danger closing in. Jack goes up fearlessly, snatches it midair, and takes the hit like it's nothing. The defender thought he had him. But unless you wrap Jack up, you're not stopping him. Now, let's flip the page to Darien Porter, a cornerback with sky-high potential. But he's still a work in progress. If there's one area he's got to grow in, it's tackling. Scouts say his physicality is what kept him from going in the first round. Watch closely. On one play, he makes a tackle by the narrowest margin. Another time, the tackle slips right through his hands. But don't forget, Porter's a converted wide receiver. His instincts in coverage are natural, but tackling is something he's still learning. Now, here's the upside. This next play is exactly what you want from your cornerback. He's stride for stride with the receiver, but more importantly, he turns his head and tracks the ball. That's something a lot of young corners don't do, and it's why so many get burned. Porter looks back, times it right, and goes up to make a clean play on the football. That kind of awareness? That's how you build a lockdown corner. Let's talk about what makes Darien Porter a real weapon in the secondary. And it's something that doesn't show up on every stat sheet. This guy has one habit that separates him from a lot of young corners. He always looks back for the ball. That's not common, and it's not taught easily. But for Porter, it's instinct. Maybe it's that former wide receiver in him. When the ball goes up, he doesn't just defend, he attacks. Now, on one play, you might wish he pressed harder at the line, sure. But once the receiver breaks into his route, Porter's stride for stride. And guess what? He's already tracking the ball. That's the mindset of someone who believes the pass is his to catch. Even when the play ends with no one coming down with it, that's still a win. No flag, no catch, solid defense. From sideline to center field, Porter is reading plays like a vet. And if he keeps this up, don't be surprised if he leads the Raiders in interceptions this year, just off his awareness alone. Last season, offenses tried to beat him deep and failed. He stays glued to receivers, then flips his head just in time to make a play on the ball. That's exactly what he does here. Eyes on the prize, perfect timing, and snags the interception. Flip the camera angle and you'll see it again. Porter reading the receiver, watching the ball, adjusting his body, and making the grab like he's still catching passes on offense. His body control and hands, absolutely next level. This is the kind of player who can turn the tide in Vegas. And it's only the beginning. Let's wrap this up with what's becoming a pattern. Another deep shot. Another failure. Because when Darien Porter is on coverage, quarterbacks are running out of options fast. He's not grabbing, he's not pushing, he's just mirroring his man like a shadow. So, by the time the quarterback gets to his side of the field, the receiver's already out of the play. That's elite discipline. With their first 3 picks, the Raiders didn't just draft potential. They drafted starters, day 1 contributors. In second-round pick B, they've got a big-bodied receiver who brings the fight as a blocker, but also creates real separation with sure hands and smart footwork. Then there's Darien Porter, the third-round steal who doesn't play like a project. He plays like a professional. That ability to turn his head, track the ball, and finish plays is rare. And when you add his size, speed, and confidence, the ceiling is sky-high. There's talk of him being another Richard Sherman type, only faster. And with the right coaching in Vegas, that comparison might not be a stretch. Yes, he'll need to improve his tackling. He'll need to get a bit more physical. But the instincts, the timing, the awareness, the Raiders may have landed themselves a shutdown corner in the making, and that could change everything.